มาฆบูชาวันที่พระบรมศาสดาทรงแสดงโอวาทปาติโมกข์แก่เหล่าพระอรหันต์1,250 องค์ผู้ทรงอภิญญาล้วนเป็นเอหิภิกขุอุปสัมปทาที่มาประชุมกันโดยมิได้นัดหมายณเวรุวันมหาวิหารในวันเพ็ญขึ้น15 ค่ำเดือน3
ต้นช่วยกดอันมิวอีกทีค่ะได้แล้วค่ะ
โอเคค่ะ Respectfully, Venerable, with the great honors. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
In progress.
My name is Sushada Thomalai. It is my great honors to be the moderators of this evening event. And on behalf of the Alliance of Buddhists, or WABs, we would like to welcome everyone with the great pleasures to the International Maฆ Puja Seminar in homage to the Lord Buddhas for Maฆ Puja days and to commemorate the 52nd anniversary of the Dhammakaya Temple in the topic of Buddhist propagation in next normal. And this program is being held on 13 to 15 February 2022 at 8 to 9 p.m. Thailand times via Zoom applications. And today is the second day of the event, which have many honorable guest speakers in these evenings. And on these occasions of International Maฆ Puja Days, and actually we all know that this is another day that's significance in Buddhism. So we will not talk too much about the Maฆ Puja days because we all know that actually they have like 4 characters of these days, and also this kind of 4 characters we call Ovata Patimok, and we still use this kind of Buddha thoughts for practice ourselves and also for spreading the Dhamma to all mankind. So today we will present the dimensions and another ways of the Maฆ Puja days. Okay, so now I would like to introduce you about our schedule and honorable guest speakers. So we will start the session around 8:15, which is around these times, with the opening speech by video of our first honorable guest speakers, which is Venerable Da Hui. He is the president of Chinese Young Buddhist Association, or CYBA, from Taiwan. And continue with our keynote speakers. Venerable Pasura Dantamano, he is the chef of the International Relations Divisions at Wat Prathamagaya. He will talk about the Buddhist propagations in the next normals. And after that, I will invite Venerable Doctors Phonchai Palawattamo Phinyapong, President of World Alliance of Buddhists, to give us welcome speech and introductions. And after that, we have our special guest speaker for today, which is Monk Gagan Malik Asoka Bhikkhu. He is a WAB advisor, and today he will share us the topic of my ordinations and my inspirations. And after that, Venerable Nai Chok Panha will share us about the Maฆ Puja in Cambodia. He is a member of Media and International Relations Office of the Secretariat of the Supreme Sangha Council of Cambodia. And last but not least, we will invite Professor Hughes Jenda. He is the Deputy Secretary General of National Committees of Land Management and Urban Planning, or NCLUPs, Vice Chairman of Buddhist Culture Centers of Cambodia, or BCCCs, from Cambodia. He will give us the congratulatory speech for the global Maฆ Puja Day with 1 million candle lighting ceremonies. And after that, we will invite Venerable Doctors Phonchai Palawattamo again to lead us, share loving kindness, and pay homage to the Tripartines. And this is all our program for today. So I know that everyone waiting to listen to our honorable guest speakers. So now I just would like to start our session by invite the videos of our first honorable guest speakers, Venerable Da Hui, President of Chinese Young Buddhist Associations, or CYBAs, from Taiwan, for the introduce our program today.
各位佛教的朋友，大家好，我是台湾中华佛教青年会的理事长大慧法师。今天是万佛节的庆祝活动，也是法身寺100万烛光祈愿晚会以及后疫情时代佛法弘传论坛。我在此预祝本次大会圆满成功，也非常赞叹法身寺能召集100万人次进行如此的佛教庆典活动。当我看到每次法身寺能有几十万人同时上线，并且破金氏世界纪录的烛光祈福晚会，我心中非常的感动，感恩三宝能让我见证这佛教辉煌的历史，也希望辉煌的一刻能永远延续下去。佛陀在第3个月圆日传授了佛教的根本教法，而他所培养的僧团1250个阿罗汉，在没有先约好的情况下同时出现，这是一个吉祥的缘起，象征佛法僧的完整，也象征着佛教的圆满。佛法讲缘起，僧团圆满了，大家也正果了。佛陀在满月的时候传授佛教的根本教法，弟子不约而同的全部到齐，这就是当佛法僧三宝具足的缘起所招感的吉祥法会。所以我们有了万佛节，也称之为僧人节。僧团是佛教的传承最重要的一部分，我们将透过万佛节的庆典活动，了解三宝的珍贵，护持僧众的重要。此次活动还有后疫情时代佛法的弘传论坛，这是一个非常重要的论坛。在疫情后，世界有着巨大的改变，所有的组织都要以数位的转型来应对这个时代，而佛法的弘传更是要与时俱进。法身寺在疫情这个期间，在数位转型线上论坛都取得了很好的成果，值得大家效仿学习。而我身为中华佛教青年会的理事长，每天也在想着佛法要怎么传承给青年的一代，所以也非常期待这次的论坛。这次的活动庆祝法身寺成立第52周年，并且在全世界35个国家有200多个分院，并且在235个国家进行线上佛法教学，这个在佛教的历史上是难得一见的盛况。让我们再次祝贺此次活动圆满成功，并且一起见证这历史的一刻。祝福，阿弥陀佛。
So, Sadhuka, thank you very much for the opening speech by Venerable Da Hui, President of Chinese Young Buddhist Associations. Actually, I don't really know about the meaning, but I can know that he gave us the speech that make us know more about like Makha Busha Day, and also to make us have some kind of happiness moments in this sessions, evenings that we're going to talk about the Makha Busha days and the topics today that we will talk about. As we know that nowadays humanity confronts the situations of the COVID-19 pandemics, but actually we still can use the Buddha teaching to create peaceful societies. As our topic today is Buddhist propagation in the next normal. So these times I would like to invite our keynote speakers, Venerable Pasura Dantamano. He is the chef of International Relations Divisions at Wat Pratamakaya to talk about this topic. Please. นิมนต์ค่ะ
Thank you, Kunsachada. It's my honor to be a speaker and share with you today about the concept of the Buddhist propagation in the next normal. But I have to disagree with the MC Kunsachada at the beginning that we are not going to dwell so much on the Makabucha concept, because actually this is the day that is most appropriate to talk about the propagation, because the significance of Makabucha, it occurred 9 months after the Buddha's enlightenment. So basically, in the history will be the first 9 months the Buddha took his journey from Bodh Gaya all the way until he slowly collect a number of enlightened arahant, until he has a number enough before sending them to different directions and begins to propagate the teaching. So this is actually the day that the Buddha basically standardized the teaching for the very first time, because throughout the first 9 months, he basically gave different teaching here and there in different part, depends on the audience. But to have a gathering of the enlightened monk before they are doing the part of propagation and come together and say, here is my message. From now on, this is what you're going to go out and tell the people. Number one, make sure that they learn to be patient about their lives, because the ultimate goal is to free themselves from suffering. So there is no more of the abusive of any kinds of refrain from evil actions, strive in doing good deeds and purify the mind, and then follow the other part. And that is really important. And sometimes we may not really talk about that in that aspect so much, but what we always refer as the main teachings of the Buddha return to this day. And that's why this is the day to standardize. Basically, for the last 2,600 years, that concept has not changed at all. Every monk, every teachers who propagate the words of the Buddha still refer to the very same concept about how to reach the utmost state of sufferings and reach the ultimate happiness. And that is the main goal. And the method how to do that may vary according to places and times and cultures, but that is the bottom line. But right now, we are in different phases of the world. For the past 2.5 millenniums, the world has changed drastically, because ever since, the number of people connecting with each other, these developments of information technology really changed the shape of the world, how people perceived the informations. When I became a monk, the first year I studied something called the Dhamma Scholar. That is for the monk, and they are really three years studies. For me, in the first year, I thought it was like, how come this looks very simple? But then, because the book was written back roughly close to 120 years ago, and originally it was designed for people who were illiterate. But because basically in the old days, general public, they were illiterate. They couldn't read and write. So the books that's why it was designed not to be so complicated. And nowadays, if we use the same method of learning in this new technology where information can be accessed instantly on our fingertips, it's not going to be feasible with the rest of the world right now. So that's why, before I go to share with you my ideas of it, let's take a look at the world scenario first to really see go in the bigger picture. Because when we talk about propagation, it's all about reaching out to people, and we're going to have to understand the audience. So I took the statistic from the Christianity because it's actually, they collect a lot of good record. And this is one important aspect that you can take a look at, is that the number of people begin to drop out of churches in the US. So you can see that the number is actually dropping over time, up until the people who are in the 20s, 10, 20 years and onward. 1/3 say they only attend church regularly, which means 2/3, and this is referred to American only. 2/3 already drop out from coming to the churches regularly, which means they no longer practice their religion. In the way is attending church, attending masses, stuff like that, and is gradually coming down ever since they're growing up. Which means up to a certain age, when my parents can't force me to be there anymore, I'm not gonna go. So that's the deal. That is the choice. So you can see the scenario of dropping out of the US that's down, drop out more and more each year. And now it's dropped out 59% back in 2011 up until now, 2019, 64. So the number of dropping out is increasing. So you can see is increasing in that direction. And also you can see that the number of people who identify themselves as religious is also dropping, and more people really decided to say, I'm not religious. And when we talk about the reason why people drop out of religions or the churches in the West, so they said it most of the time because the life has changed. So when the life, like, will move to different city, working, different university or colleges. So those are one of the main reasons, which means life has gone to one phase that I don't need to attend churches anymore. And then also to feel the things that they felt like they couldn't relate to what the pastor or the priest are talking about. So the current scenario of my life doesn't go in line with what the church is telling me. So that's another reason it's contradicting what they believe, or the current setting of frame of reference. And also the way that is contradicting where religious or ethical belief as people become more exposed to different knowledge, values, and the different philosophies, and they started to ask a lot of questions about what they have been told for a lifetime. And another important thing would be even people in the church or in the temples, in the environment that doesn't feel welcoming anymore. So that's another main reason. So I'm showing you this to see that this is a scenario of people who really feel like, hey, they are becoming less religion. But then do people become happier because of no religion? Well, the answer is not really quite, because this is the statistic related to mental illnesses. And you can see the rising of mental illness in the West. In general, I'm talking about probably in Asia as well, that you can see the number of people prone to committing suicide and become more depressions or suffer from anxiety. So those are the statistics that you can see is increasing. People who need to use substances to cure their mental illnesses in order to stay in check. So those are the things that can tell that with of the fast-paced lifestyle that people are living right now really cause them to be less happy in life. Therefore, those mental illnesses increasing. So this goes hand in hand with what you say, basically the dropout of religion. But then again, there's another point that quite interesting to look at. That is the point that when we talk about people who do not believe in the afterlife in the US, and this is what I find interesting, is that even though a number of people refer to themselves not being religious, but they still believe in life after death. Is that weird to you? Because for me, it is weird. When you talk about things like, okay, I'm no longer I no longer to churches, I no longer submit to any religious institute, it should mean that I reject the ideas of religions, right? But then again, you have people who drop out of being a religious, going to churches, but still believe in life after death. That seems very contradicting to me. And actually, people who are younger age believe a lot more in the life after death. And another important aspect to say is that a large number of people, actually up to 2/3, said that people from any religion can go to heaven. And this is the statistic taken from the Christianity. Why am I showing you all of this? Because these are the three things that you can see the trend of the world. Number one, people identify themselves become less religion. At the same time, they are less happy. But then the belief about the life after death is still there. So, which means that people still believe that there are certain kind of aspects of life that much more than just materialist. Go to work, having jobs, having kids. Then they still think about something greater than that, even though they may not have certain kind of firm belief that it should be in the Buddhist text, in the Christianity text, but they believe in a certain kind of form. which is a very, very good thing to think about. And that's why nowadays you can see people started to say that they are spiritual, but they are not religious. And this is really the key important to think about, because people who identify themselves in a different way, they will look at religion as actually a kind of the cause of conflicts, a kind of cause of troubles, even become more institutionalized, even become more trapped in the form of religions that has been designed for a very long time, when they are still very open to the idea of spirituality, to reaching something called truth, values, ethics, knowledge. So these are the things that people are still looking for, just like in the old days. But then that what I can really see in the difference between spirituality and really in terms of religious. So that's why you can see the number of people and the difference in terms of meanings between spirituality and religions. I'm not going to go too deep into detail, because all of this information, you can just look it up over the internet. It's not that hard to find. You can just type in Google religious via spirituality, and you can have a number of people identify the meanings for you. The meaning starting from spirituality about looking inside, religious about looking outside. So a lot of times it tends to create this kind of very bad ideas about the religious concept. Then another thing that should be noted is that in the past years, there is a rising interest in meditation practice, because you can see the statistic of the people right now in the US, meditation ranked number 2 in terms of well-being. So in terms of well-being practice, number 2 are down from yoga. So the first 3 will be yoga, meditation, and chiropractor. So there are 3 of them that really bring about this when people seeking help, because it really seems to be something that people catch on that it brings happiness to their lives. So if you look a bit deeper in that text, in that concept, it's actually make a lot of money too. Because in the past years, mindfulness industry really alone in the US estimate worth $1 billion. And the value of global meditation market is expected to reach 9 billion by 2027. So one of during the times of the epidemic, the application like Calm, Headspace, 10% Happier, really increased in revenue a lot. So that says that people are still looking for help, and they still believe in those kind of practice that really good for them. Then the problem would be, I believe in those practice. I think it's good for me, but I don't buy the religious stuff. That's the scenario. I'm sorry, I don't use the word that is not very official or very formal, because I try to get straight to the point. And the point is like that. Most people will say, I don't buy religious stuff. But I do agree with the practice make me feel happier in my life, help me discover some truth. And that is really something that lies within. Now, this is what I want really to show you first, what's going on. What really the Buddha is talking about. The Buddha talked about only 2 main things. Sufferings, what is the nature of sufferings, and how to eradicate the sufferings. So those are the things, the 2 things that the Buddha really talk about, 2 main stuff. Then come down to this. What people identify as sufferings. I know that these days they have something called SDG, Sustainable Development Goal, and probably somebody will talk about this thing later on. When I studied my master's degree back in 2000, it was a big deal when people talk about something called MDG, Millennium Development Goal, because this SDG was set after 2015. So back then it was a big deal. They set a goal that how the world should develop, how the world should eradicate so-called sufferings. So they set a number of goals to reach in different aspects. So when you look at it, the green one are the one that achieve the goal. The red one is the one that below the goal. So basically, if you look at these numbers, majority of the MDG or Millennium Development Goal didn't really achieve the goal. But of course, it's not really a bad thing because at least they get some things done. They reduce poverty, they increase access to water. So those are the material things that people think will be very good for them. And that leads to something called sustainable development goals that is set right now. So the problem would be, with that in mind, the question that we should talk about would be, did really the goal, the MDG, really work? Because it doesn't distribute equally. For example, even the most successive one, the reducing the poverty line, it concentrates mainly on the South Asia and Southeastern Asia. People in the sub-Saharan Africa still suffer pretty much the same. Doesn't make much difference. You can see that more of the immigrants into Europe are still causing a lot of issues at the moment. So those are really things that are really different when it comes to sustainable development goal. So what I mean is that when people in the world still looking at this aspect of happiness, well-being, in these terms of economics and sustainable, is still not yet reached there because it's a bit more materialistic. So that being said, another statistic in that context that really kind of missing out a lot would be environmental. One of the things that's really failed a lot during the Millennium Development Goal is the rise in CO2 emissions, the forest, the lives in the ocean, the fish stock. Those are the things that actually got worse, which means the cost of development that has been trying for the past 15, 17 years come with the cost of environment damaged. So that's the scenario too. Anyway, since I'm not an economist, I'm not going to go down into this, but this, I'm planning to go down into it. This is basically something you can just look up on Forbes.com, 10 richest people in the world. Who are they? Number one, Elon Musk. Number two, the guy who owns Louis Vuitton. And then number three, Jeff Bezos. So basically, if you do look at these first top 10, you can see that majority of them related to technology. Google, Microsoft, SpaceX, Tesla. So those things related to technologies, information technologies, even Amazon. Amazon basically, you can say it was about shopping, but it's about online shopping, which shape a person's behavior, which means people can just stay at home, order anything on the fingertips, from Amazon Prime, just wait in only 1 or 2 days. So life becoming more convenient. People looking at themselves from the comfort of their home. So this is a behavior that you can see trying to create that the people try to create an environment that they don't have to go anywhere much. Even though you can say that after a pandemic, people will go to the office, but it doesn't mean that this thing like Zoom meeting will go away, will disappear. It doesn't mean that people will stop using internet. Actually, it's going to be increasing on parallel. As you can see, even Facebook open up something called Metaverse, which is also another platform that have created virtual augmented reality that people can just go in there, participating, interacting with each other just as they're in the real world. So this is coming a new behavior up to all the way to Netflix, that you can look up Headspace program on Netflix. It's available on there. So people can just go into Netflix and practice meditation. So that is what's going on. Now, when you see this thing coming up, what I really see also another behavior that's really affect when it comes to learning of the Dharma, which is the attention span. These are statistics that related to the number of the video that is presented on, most effective video. It's said that 45% of people watch at least 1 hour of Facebook or YouTube video a week. A lot of people, that would be a day. So the effective duration of the video on Twitter is 45 seconds. On YouTube, not so bad, 10 minutes. Instagram, 2 to 5 minutes. On Facebook, 2 to 15 minutes, which means basically if you can't get someone's attention in, let's say, 30 seconds, they're gone. And as all of you here are Buddhist practitioners, you realize that those practice doesn't really come like instant noodle. It doesn't come immediately. It takes time to understand, to comprehend, to experience. So that is the new world. When people absorbing information, it goes fast. And there are so many choices out there. Not just these things over on YouTube, Facebook. There are so many stuff. So how would that relate it? And not to mention that the change in people ideas, even Pope Francis also have to make saying related to LGBT community to be more accepting. Imagine these things talking about this 200 years ago. There will be sort of go straight out to hell. I mean, I have nothing against that, but I mean, if you look at historical account, that will be things that's said by the churches. So you see the transformation of that really related to different values out there. For Buddhism, there are actually quite interesting things that I like to mention would be, this is the statistic I can find very weird. This is a statistic by year in Thailand, the number of monks and the number of temples. Basically, each year, they are increasing in number of temples registered legally in Thailand, while the number of monks are decreasing by year as well. Basically, you can see the different, the contradicting between the rising of the monks and the rising of the rising of temple and reducing of the monks in Thailand. That's what's going on. So that is really weird. So one thing to say is that clergy or priests or monks are reducing over around the world, not in just Buddhism. Christianity is other religions as well, people who enter into monastic life reducing. Even the nuns in Christianity also reducing as well. So you can see the scenario of what's going on in the next 10 years is going to go into this direction. So the question would be, are we doing really the right thing in the right direction? We have beautiful temples, but we have less people engaging with it. I am now been in Denmark for the last 4 months. And actually I travel quite a lot extensively to a lot of Western countries. I taught meditation probably in every country in Latin America. A lot of people interested in it. For sure, I have nothing with that. There's another interesting fact that they do the research. They're putting stupid quotes that doesn't make sense at all, but said it was from Einstein, a famous scientist. I people believe that more than it comes from the spiritual teachers or religious teacher. This is what people believe these days. So how do I get to that point? This is so-called communication theory. The message from the source that we have is the Buddha's word. We have to send out that signal right into the mediums. And these mediums are different kind of platforms. Social medias, we're going to hold ceremonies, rituals, but what are we going to be doing? Nowadays, we have two groups of people who really have different behavior completely. One is the traditional Buddhist, like in Thailand, Cambodia, Laos, Myanmar, that is changing over time. So it's going to be similar to those people who grew up in the country where they grew up as Christianity and begins to question. It's the same thing happening in Thailand. The generation these days, they're still worshipping different stuffs, but they make a lot of complaint coming to the temple. So that's kind of weird too, right? Which is the same things I said at the beginning about Christianity. At the same time, in the West and in the moderners, so to speak, they become more interested, but on the practice itself, on the aspect that how can they get the well-being from those practices and teachings, which means that whenever you're going to have to make propagation in this new normal, first of all, it's about having people really get straight to the point. Really get the essence of practical, because just typing, you look through the videos, it takes only a few seconds for you to decide whether you want to continue with that. And that is something that you find very useful to you. And people don't think very long. At least it has to be something that catch up, inspire the moment, in order to get the experience in, because that's what virtual reality is all about, experiencing inclusive. So those are becoming more trendy these days. And that if we can integrate things that happen in the temple, although we have to maintain certain kind of traditions and culture that we have passed down for many years. At the same time, it's about how to keep the integrity while being more inclusive, adaptable to the younger generations. They're not going to coming down to the temple and sit down quietly listening to something they don't understand and don't relate it for a couple of hours straight up. They have to be something they feel connected with. That's why when we hold activity as the Dhammakai Temple, we're trying to create smaller groups in the big events in order to be more inclusive. For example, like the kids come for volunteering rather than coming for something else. So volunteering becoming things that they can engage with in different forms. Because that way they can have the smaller groups and each group can really start to interact in their own languages, in their own style. And that helps people to really, really feel more connected. So that is about how we create the experiences, because at the end of the day, even though we can see the trend of people becoming less interested in religion, but it doesn't mean they're not interested in their own life. They still do. We're going to have to make it more practical, more precise, straight to the point, inspiring and experiencing, and also make sure that it deliver right to the right kind of target. What age group are we talking about? We talk about the Gen X, Gen Y, Gen Z, or the millennials. They are not the same at all. And this is how the world is getting more complicated. But at the same time, we still have the advantage from technology that is evolving over time that help us to be more connected. So that is what I have to share with you today. I know that I'm not going to go down into explain what to do, because all of you are expertise in your related fields. So if you just combine those expertise and specialization you got and put it down to the same goal, that how we can outreach both traditional Buddhists and the modern generations to really integrate the practice into daily life, which bear benefits the most. If the goal is that, and we're trying to adapt according to the change in the environment, just exactly the same as it has been for the last 2.5 millenniums, we can continue to be sure that Buddha's teaching will be carried on for the future generations. So thank you.
So thank you very, very much for this very surprise information, actually, for me. And as Venerable Pastor Rantamma knows, he makes us realize that Buddha teachings is actually in Pali Akaliko or timeless from last 600 years ago until now. We still can use Buddha teachings for our life. Although our lifestyle, behaviors, and beliefs actually for new generation have changed a lot, but we still can use the Buddha teaching to make our life happy and peaceful. And all of this we call new normals. So especially meditation, which is now Venerable Pasura said, he taught a lot of meditation to people, actually, I think almost around the world. And this is show us that the effective of Dhamma of the Lord Buddha, that's very useful for our life and society. So thank you very much, Lung Thi, to share us very useful information and teachings. Thank you, Ka. Satu, Ka. And Actually, as I have mentioned that now we have a special guest speakers, which is Monk Gagan Malik or Asoko Piku. So, and also we have his videos about his ordinations as well to show to everyone to rejoice in his merits together. Before we listen to his sharing about my ordinations and my inspirations, I would like to invite Venerable Dr. Thonchai Palawattamo Pinyapong, the President of World Alliance of Buddhists, WAB, to give us welcome speech and introductions at this time. นิมนต์เจ้าค่ะ
บุตถังสรณังกัจฉามิธัรมังสรณังกัจฉามิสังฆังสรณังกัจฉามิ
The world's famous Indian Bollywood superstar Gagan Malik entered as the real monk since on today, February 10, 2022. Gagan Malik's auspices ordination ceremony held on today morning at Wat That Thong, the Royal Buddhist temple premises in Bangkok, Thailand. This is Gagan Malik's temporarily monkhood until to February 24, 2022, and he will spend the next 15 days as a monk in Bangkok, Thailand. After engaged the monkhood, Gagan Malik received as his monk name Asoko, that meaning the one who is free of sadness. Gagan Malik mentioned on this great occasion, he entered monkhood to study the code of conduct of Buddhists, because he planned to later share the experience to Indian people. Then he clearly mentioned on his words did not want to convert Indian people to Buddhism, but he only intended to bring Buddhism back to the homeland of Lord Buddha. Gagan Malik said after his ordination, he wanted to learn Dhamma and to promote the religion in India. Also, this is the time to learn Dhamma, time to understand impermanence, time to gain knowledge and time to roll the wheel of Dhamma in India at this most important time. Furthermore, he said, although India was the origin of Buddhism, Buddhists in India formed only 1 to 2% of the Indian population nowadays. The famous Bollywood actor Gagan Malik, who played Prince Siddhartha, was most popular worldwide. Gagan Malik considers Emperor Ashoka, who spread the Buddhism in the world, and Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar, who revived the Buddhism in India, as his role models. He says that the greeting Namo Buddhi is never complete without Jai Bhim. He stressed that playing the role of Sri Siddhartha Gautama had entirely changed his life and his attitude, which is how Lotus World was born. Gagan Malik is an Indian actor. He won the Best Actor award in the world.
Okay, may I pay respect to all Bhante venerable monks Upasaka, Upasika, all the participants in this room. Today is our great honor to welcome everyone, monks, Upasaka, Upasika, to joining the seminar. I don't talk much now because I know that everyone waiting to listen for the monk Kakan Malik or Asoko Bhikkhu who give us the valuable time to joining with us for the Makabucha seminar. Because after his ordination on 10 February at Wat Tha Thong, Bangkok of Thailand, I saw his schedule 15 days, all morning, afternoon, evening have the program already. So today I think it's a really good opportunity for everyone to listen from him. Because as I know, Brother Kakan Malik, more than 4 years now, his dedication and devotion to the possibility of Buddhism is well recognized by the world Buddhist community. I think it starts from him to play the movie Sisiddhartha Gautama. This movie very famous in Sri Lanka, in Vietnam, and after that, Monk Kakan Malik, he can learn a lot about Buddhism, and he devote himself for Buddhist activities until he decided to ordain in Thailand at Wat Tha Thong. In the video, you can see that the video mentioned about Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar, who convert Indian people to be Buddhist about 65 years ago at Buddha Jayanti at the time. But unfortunately, after 3 months, Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar passed away. So many Indian people and Dalit people who convert to be Buddhist already don't know how to practice the real Buddha Dhamma until today, lack of the Dhamma teacher. So that's why Brother Monk Kakan Malik, he decided to ordain, although it's temporary ordination, but he decided to learn the real Dhamma and make the inspiration for Indian people. So now I think everyone waiting for Venerable Monk Kakan Malik or Asoko Bhikkhu. So on this auspicious occasion, I would like to invite Kakan Malik Bhikkhu or Asoko Bhikkhu to please sharing with us about your inspiration for this ordination at this time. And everyone would like to know that on the 10th of February, you ordained as Wat Tha Thong. Now, 4 days already, today also the Pure Love Day. So how do you feel about the monk life also in Thailand? Please. Okay, please.
Namo Buddhaya to everyone. Jai Bhim. First of all, I'm honored to be a part of this. I hope my voice is going through.
Yes, clearly.
Can you listen to me clearly? Is it okay, my voice?
Yes, loud and clear, sir.
All right. Namo Buddhaya, Jai Bhim. First of all, I am really honored to be a part of this Magha Puja celebrations, and I wish everyone peace, compassion, wisdom on this sacred occasion of Magha Puja. Let's talk about my inspirations first, as this is the topic. My inspiration, the first inspiration is Buddha himself. I played Siddhartha in that movie, Sri Siddhartha Gautama, and I saw and I felt the pain that he got when he left the palace. Means he got all the luxuries of life to live with, but he chose the toughest part to find a path to end suffering for everyone. When a prince can live the luxurious life, we are very small people in front of Prince Siddhartha. We are nothing. And people were calling me superstar. I'm not a superstar at all in India. I'm just a small actor. So I thought, if Siddhartha can leave the palace, wife, child, I have nothing to leave. It's just a temporary monk, and he left forever. So first inspiration for Buddha himself. And the second one is, of course, Bodhisattva, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. He is my strongest source of inspiration, who revived Buddhism in India. And because of him, we can see and we know that Buddhism is still alive in India is very less. The other important part that really encouraged me to be a monk, when I was propagating Buddhism after the movie, I was really moved. I was propagating in different countries. The main question that was asked to me, that you're propagating in Vietnam, you're going to Sri Lanka, all over, they're already like Buddhism is at peak in many ways. What are you doing in the land of Buddha, where Buddhism is almost vanished? And even the Buddhist people who are here, they are not following the correct discipline of Buddhism. So a lot of things are missing there. So what are you doing for your country? So from that day, I thought, yes, it's my duty to do something. Then I read about King Asoka. I played the character of King Asoka also. It's one of the very important series which was made by the government of India, Surajya Sahita. And then I got to know, after the war, he realized that he actually not won the war, he lost the war, because there are a lot of lives were taken, a lot of bloodshed. And finally, he followed the path of Buddha and built 84,000 stupas all over the country, just to spread love, peace, and compassion. So I thought, at least I can start something, not making the stupas, but, just take the message of the Buddha to the world with 84,000 statues. We can donate statues to our country, because a lot of viharas in our country, they are not having the right statues even. The condition is not good. So I'm trying my best to get the support of Thailand and many other countries, Vietnam, many other countries. So they are supporting me to get the statues for them. So this is what I'm trying. These are the three major inspirations for me that made me go for this ordination. The most important thing for this ordination is to inspire the youngsters. Just before my speech, Venerable Pasura said, the Buddhism is declining, the people are not coming forward. The only reason I see here is when we reach the age of 50 plus, let's say 55, 60, or we are getting old, slowly we start feeling the essence of death in our life. The moment we feel the death, the moment we feel the suffering, the diseases is coming on us, we started doing merits. We get, somehow start doing some merits so that, somehow we gain some good merits, because everybody believes in Buddhism that, there is next life. So people start doing merits to have a better life in the next life. So to inspire youngsters, because those are the people when they get old, there's no point. So if person like me, maybe not many, but as in my capacity, I'm trying to inspire youngsters to come forward and follow Buddhism. Once they will see me as a monk, even temporary, and they will learn some of the Dhamma, at least for 15 days, they can get the essence, some important points like impermanence, like mindfulness. So their life can take a 360-degree turn upside down, and they can follow the right path, because teachings of the Buddha is so powerful. That is my main motive, so that we can inspire youngsters, and especially in my country. Secondly, I wanted to ordain, I got ordained in Watatong Temple under the chief abbot, Raja Roy Nana Subon, who is my master in Watatong. And I wanted to learn Dhamma is in the best way possible in these 15 days, so that once I get to know, I want to live it, so that once I live it, I can inspire more people, I can share more of my experiences. Then I can inspire many other people, especially youngsters. So I'm living this life, and this ordination has given me a new feeling, the real inner happiness I get every day when I'm meditating, when I go with a begging bowl, asking people for the donations or just walking by. And I was amazed to see when we walk on the normal road, people are standing on the road to give food to us. I have never seen this kind of a tradition in my life in the Buddhist world in India. This is missing. So we have to bring back Buddhism to India. We have to fulfill the dream of Bodhisattva Dr. Ambedkar for the revival of Buddhism. So once I go there, after learning how the Buddhism works in Thailand in a much disciplined way, what respect they have for the monks, I must go to India, try to form a strong Mahasangha, try to gather all the monks at a common platform and discuss and decide that, we have to follow this right path now, so that somehow we'll make a roadmap how to revive Buddhism in India, which is the land of Buddha. It's very unfortunate Buddhism is almost vanishing there. Once we can discuss, we can inspire people, and you will not believe. I've got thousands of calls from everywhere, and every morning, daytime, evening time, people are coming, people are praying, people are worshipping, people are supporting, not only in Thailand, but from India too. Everybody is really happy. So there will be a new wave of Buddhism that will go to India and also in Thailand that will inspire a lot of youngsters. Once I will share my experience, I will explain people how beautiful it is, how nice it is, how strongly I got the real inner happiness after being a monk, then definitely people will follow. This is my personal belief. And I'm very thankful to all the people in Thailand now. They're supporting very strongly for 84,000 Buddha statue project. We have formed a society, also Tri Ratna Bhumi Society, which will strongly work between India and Thailand for the propagation of Buddhism in all the ways. So we will try after this ordination to do some kind of exchange between the Buddhist people, like we will sponsor or we'll try to get some people to come to Thailand and study the discipline, the right way of Buddhism, and go back and spread the same in India, one by one. I know it's not easy, but the dream is being seen, and it will definitely and surely be fulfilled. And I can see the strong support from the world is with me, and I really give sadhuvat to everyone for supporting me for this. And I really believe being a monk is a blessing. Not only Buddhist people, I think people from all the religions must become a monk for 15 days. And we have a wrong thought in India also that it's a religion, it's a way of life. It brings all the religions together. It tries to make a better society. It tries to take away your sufferings. Buddha in Dhamma, he showed the path how to end suffering very simply. And that is what you need. Today, the youngsters are stressed. They are taking the wrong path. Once they get to know the nature of impermanence, once they get to know about mindfulness, once they get to know how to make marriage, the things will change. Things will surely change. And being positive for this strong step, I think I will move forward, and with all the people there, with the blessings of the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha, I think I will be very successful. And I would like to tell everyone today, I feel really, really blessed, because today Sangha Dana was given to me by the King and Queen of Thailand. And that was a great blessing for me. That means the blessings are showering, and I request all of you, especially my Indian Buddhist, that we need to join hands to be one and walk together and spread the essence of Dhamma, not only in the Buddhist community, but to the other people, to make the society, our country, a better place to live in, and bring back the Dhamma of the Buddha to my country, India. I will not take much more time, and I'm really thankful once again to WAB for giving me this chance to be with all of you and talk to you. And once again, thank you very much. Namo Buddhaya, Jai Bhim.
Venerable Kakan Malik, a little bit now, because I think as I asked Venerable Kakan Malik or Asoko Bhikkhu, how do you feel? I think no need to answer this question, because as your answer, we can see that you are very happy in monk life, but after listening to your sharing with us your speech, it looks like now is the time for the return of Buddhism in India again. And I would like to say that during your speech, everyone says sadhu, sadhu, sadhu in the chat box. You can see it, and I think your ordination not only be inspiration of Indian people, but also Thai Buddhists. But we can say that Buddhists around the world, when they saw your picture as the ordination, they feel really happy and joyful and make inspiration to learn more about the Buddha Dhamma. So today, I think everyone would like to listen to you more a little bit.
Okay.
Maybe you can say about your plan a little bit about, especially I saw your picture that you received the Buddha statue from many places. During Asoka King, more than 2,000 years ago, he built 84,000 stupa and sent the 9 Dhammaduta route to propagate the Buddha Dhamma, and Thailand get benefit from King Asoka until now. But now it's maybe time for Thailand to return the Buddhism to India. So I would like you to maybe to sharing with us about your planning a little bit more about the Buddha statue and stupa also.
Yes, Venerable. I would like to. I would definitely say more, because as far as was between 8 to 9, it was 9:10 already. So that's why I finished my speech quickly. Venerable, first of all, you asked me about my experience as a monk. It's a kind of very enlightening kind of experience it is. You know, the discipline that I have right now, like I have to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning, go for alms, then for the chanting, and then meet people. Sometimes I get the chance to learn the way how a layman respect a monk, which is missing in my country. And I really want to bring it back as soon as possible. So it's a beautiful feeling day by day. It's a great experience, and I'm learning a lot about Dhamma. In fact, I have to learn chanting also, Pali chanting. I'm learning a Thai tradition, and the best part is Thai monks at this temple, they are very polite, very helpful, very compassionate, and including the Thai people. You know, when they talk to you, when they talk to a monk, you can see the respect in their body language, you can see the respect in their heart for you, and you can see the compassion, and you can feel it directly, like it touches your heart. So these kind of feelings are so beautiful, which cannot be expressed in words. So I really want everyone to be a monk at least once in your life. And if you're talking about my project now, we have strong projects coming up. We have formed, as I said, we have formed a society here, Tri Ratna Bhumi Society, which will be strongly working like a Indo-Thai Buddhist work. Not only for that, it will. We are trying to make it a one-stop station for all the Buddhists, not only in India, especially in India, but from all over the world. Sometimes I have seen this problem. People in India, they want to learn more about Buddhism, the discipline, and how Buddhism works in Thailand, but they don't have the right source. So somehow we are trying to develop a website or something in a very strong way that they call one person. They want to do meditation, they want to do course in the university, or they want to do be a shramner, or just to want to visit all the spiritual places here. Whatever related to Buddhism, if they want to learn, we will become a one station for all of them to make it easy for them. And the people who cannot afford to travel sometimes, but they are deserving people who are very genuinely want to be a part of Buddhism, we will try to sponsor them also, because a lot of people are supporting. That is number one. When we talk about 84,000 Buddha statues, you will not believe, like today, even monks from down south, very far away, and many other people have come and donated many small Buddha statues to me, like for this project. And you should see many of them, they were having water in their eyes. You can see the tears not falling, but it is there. That is what they were feeling when they were giving the statue to me, especially to me means for India, because they also feel a strong connection with India. And it's time for the Thai people to remind India about the Buddhism which came from India to Thailand. So I am working strongly on it, and I request all of you, whoever wants to be a part of it, whoever wants to be a Shramner, please connect with us, connect with our most venerable Ponchai, so that, you know, somehow we can work together hand in hand. Venerable, I again thank you for this great chance, and we'll definitely work together. We are trying to make a school. We are trying to make 84 feet Buddha statue in Nagpur. We are trying to make a hospital which is already exist. Like, we are trying to provide some machines where monks and nuns can be treated freely. Those talks are also going on. So there are a lot of things are happening, and this news of me being a monk have spread in India, and it inspired a lot of people. And I'm expecting a lot of youngsters becoming Shramner and learning Dhamma, and later on pay back to the society. As Dr. Ambedkar said, they will come back and they will start doing the propagation of Buddhism. Thank you, Venerable.
Okay. Thank you very much, Venerable Kakan Malik or Asoko Piku. That I think Thai people like Kalyana Mitra, they would love to support your project, and hope we can work together for the benefit of people in India and people of the world. So today, thank you very much, and I would like to say that Venerable Kakan Asoko Bhikkhu, he still be a monk at Wat That Thong until 24 February. And in the morning, I saw Asoko Bhikkhu go to take arm offering or bindabat every day. So anyone would like to offer some food to Kakan Malik monk, you can go to Wat That Thong. Thank you for today sharing with us, and we hope that you can sharing with us again and working together again for in the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, may I return my microphone to our MC.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Yeah, I really feel joyful with the stories of Asoko Bhikkhu. So I would like to admire and rejoice in Mulki merit about his intention to bring Buddhism and Buddhist teachings back to India, and also live up the morals into the societies by Dhamma of the Lord Buddhas. I believe that, and actually I can see that your goals will success definitely. And actually, our societies, I think, is not just only in Thailand or India, but all around the world will get the impacts. As you said, that it is a wave for new generation, new inspirations that you have created today until I think it's going to be effects until the next futures. So I would like to rejoice in your race once again. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. And also maybe I will be the one of people who come to like offers your arm bowls in the mornings some days. Yeah, and before you leave. So actually, I just would like to invite everyone to rejoice in Hishmaris, and also if you can, if everyone can support or join his projects, I think it would be great to create the peaceful society together. Okay, so our topics still have interesting topics for today's. So I just would like to invite Venerable Nai Chok Panhas. He is a member of Medias and International Relation Office of Secretarians of the Supreme Sangha Councils of Cambodia to give us about the stories of Makabusha in Cambodia at this time. So, นิมนต์เจ้าค่ะ
Just me, Ajahn, can you listen my voice very well?
Yes.
Okay. First of all, I would like to pay my homage to the Triple Gem Buddha Dhamma and Sangha, and I would like to respect all most venerable and venerable sir here, and especially thank you for invitations made from Dr. Venerable Dr. Ponchai, and good evening for our beloved devotees, Dhamma brother and sister here. And today I have a privilege and great honor to present again related to the Makabuja Day happening in Cambodia. Based on the time, I just understood a little bit what's going on and how we can learn to apply for our daily life. And Makabuja is also celebrated on the full moon of Maka, the same as the other country, the third lunar months, to commemorate the fourfold assembly, Chaturanga Sanipata, that happened at the Velovana monastery after the Buddha got enlightenment for 9 months. So Makabuja Day is similar or sometimes how to pray it the same as Thailand, Myanmar, and Sri Lanka. And Makabuja Day has celebrated yearly in Cambodia that we celebrate annually every temple, which is one of the biggest Cambodian Buddhist ceremonies. And it was regarded as Cambodian or Khmer culture and identity mainly. It's not only for Buddhism, but also how there's stipulated in Khmer culture or Cambodian culture that when this happened every year, and all people, even like the monks and devotees, they always remind, okay, it's time to celebrate together about the Makabuja Day or ceremony. Through Cambodian history, Makabuja Day was celebrated since the reigns of the great king Prabat Ongdung in AC 1854 until the present. So we started to celebrate about Makabuja days since 1854 until today, that the whole country always respect and celebrate about the Makabuja Day. And at the present time, Cambodian monks and devotees, Dhamma brother and sister, usually and profoundly respect and celebrate Makabuja Day at the monastery annually and nationally. So as I mentioned at the moment, that when we it's when we have the Makabuja Day, and it's a remind time that all Cambodian monks and devotees to respect and to follow and to organize the whole event to promote about the Makabuja Day as a nationally. Occasionally, on May 9, 2019, the Cambodian Ministry of Information released a ban of advertising of alcohol on every Makabuja and Vesak ceremonies annually. So it's a good information for Cambodian contact that when Makabuja or Vesak ceremony happening, so they not allow to advertise all alcohol advertisement from any company, even like on televisions, including radio, etc. While the Supreme Sangha Councils of the Kingdom of Cambodia and Ministry of Culture and Religion have also protected and promoted the Buddhist educational activities and any programs for youth, children, and devotees on that day effectively and actively. However, the Cambodian government decided to remove Makabuja Day in the list of national public holidays due to the high number of holidays for the competitive state development on August 2019. Before 2019, about the Makabuja Day also regarded and listed in the list for the public holiday, but based on we have a lot of holidays, so that's why the government decided to remove Makabuja Day. But the normal activity we still celebrate, we still process and progress about the Makabuja Day as the usual. And here is I just read about the activities of what we have celebrated the Makabuja ceremony in Cambodia, and based on each monastery or temples that they accept to follow the Makabuja Day. Sometimes some pagoda, some monastery, they just follow only for the full day. Sometimes they just follow for the morning, only for the morning. Sometimes they just follow for the afternoon, and sometimes they just follow celebrate for 2 days, first day and second day, and then as the end. So I just guide the point that we just celebrate at the monastery. First arriving the temple, and then to offer the flowers to the Buddha, to pay homage to the triple gems, to observe the fire of precepts, to listen to the blessing Dhamma chanting, to listen to the Dhamma talks, to offer alms to the Buddhist monks, to practice meditation, and to share the good merits to the human being as ended event. And some they also included other programs or activities based on the creative from the temple or the monastic board based on the real situation. And now what we could learn from Makabuja Day. And so I just raised a little bit several point related to what we can learn as how to apply for the daily life, for family and community, and as a whole, the world. First point, understanding more details of Makabuja Day. It is time for us to learn and to experiment about the main essence from the Makabuja Day and how to apply for Avatipatimokkha for the daily life. Because even like some monks and some devotees still not understand clearly about what is Avatipatimokkha and how to apply for the daily life. That is the best point that we should understand and we should learn about that. And the second point about giving charity and donation, it is time for us being Buddhist followers to promote more and more as possible as we could about the charity and donation of, for example, like to offer the food for the monks, to give any charity for the other people, or any like the orphans, etc. And third point, reminding the good deeds or good actions for oneself, families, community, society, and the world through Dhamma talk and meditation, because Makabuja Day is only one time a year. So that's why it's time for us especially for the lay people, they can relax from their work and they can listen carefully and actively from the Dhamma talk through will by the Buddhist mind, and then they can have available time to make meditation, to release and to make their pure minds. Another point about the protecting and promoting Makabuja Day as its culture and identity for the next generation. Because as I mentioned at the moment, that Makabuja Day is not only for the religious ritual, for the Buddhism mainly, but also apply and also stipulated in the main culture and identity for the next generation as youth, children, and etc. That I just raised what we can learn and what we can share. And another point, the last point about sharing the merits to the world harmony and peace. Here is a good time for us that we can, when we have a good action, a good deeds, so we also share what we have together to the world, because we also know and we also understand that now the world are faced with many crises. So it's time for us that one time a year, even like we have the every time, every day, but here is a time, a good time that we can share the merits, the metta, the compassion to the world as possible as we could. So here is what we can learn from Makabuja Day that I just share a little bit from a Cambodian context related to the Makabuja Day. And thank you for everybody, for venerable and devotee for your listening carefully. Thank you.
So, thank you very much, Venerable Nai Chokpanha. He is a member of Media and International Relations Office of the Secretariat of Supreme Sangha Council of Cambodia. So, he shares about the Makabuja Day in Cambodia. So we can see how important that Makabuja Day in Cambodia, and also a lot of activities that lay people join to the temple on that day. And actually, to be honest, I feel very glad that the Cambodia's government still keep Makabuja in the list as an official holiday. So yeah, because today, I mean, the Makabuja Day is really important day actually. So thank you very much. Satu ka. Last but not least, I would like to invite Professor Hugh Jenda. He is the Deputy Secretary General of National Committees of Land Management and Urban Planning, or NCLUP. And also he is the Vice Chairman of Buddhist Cultural Centers of Cambodia, or BCCC as well. So he will give us a congratulatory speech for Global Makabuja Days and 1 million candle lighting ceremonies. So, okay, please.
Thank you for attending in this seminar about the Makabuja. Especially in Cambodia, I also think like that Venerable Spanya is explained already. So I think that all participants will be is known already about Makabuja in Cambodia, like as a law from the royal government of Cambodia to list in the as holiday and especially for the Buddha, for the rule and the way of the Buddha. So I think that I a little bit because now I on the road. Sorry.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for joining us.
Yeah. So I have a little bit interest for the Makabuja seminar of our alien VW sorry W
AB. It's
yeah. So I think that we all together in the way of the Buddha, we always to follow some of the Dhamma or with the monk or with the monk always instructor everything in Cambodia, and also we always follow all the monk. So yeah. So the Makabusha in Cambodia is necessary for our people who respect the Buddhist way. Yeah, thank you. I a little bit it's described like that. So I would like to pray for the Buddha or Theravada over the world. May the bless all our seminar member to have happiness like us in right. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes, I agree with Professor Hugh Genders about the Buddha's ways is way of life actually that we can follow the Ovatapatimo that we can recall on the Makabusha days. Since the Buddha era until now, it is an important principle of self-practice and spreading the teachings of Buddhism to all around the world that allowed all mankind to coexist in peace and happiness by the teaching of the Lord Buddha. So very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, and at this time is almost come to the end of International Makabusha Seminar in homage to the Lord Buddhas for propagations in the next for the topics of Buddhist propagation in the next normals, and also to commemorate the 52nd anniversaries of the Dhammakaya temple as well. I'm sure that all honorable guests today will be fulfilled, and also all participants will be fulfilled with love and kindness that we received together today. So actually, our event still have one more days for tomorrow. Please stay tuned with us for tomorrow's on the Thursdays on 15th February 2022 at the same times, 8 to 9 p.m. Thailand times via Zoom applications. And also, I would like to invite everyone to join us for the International Makabusha Day with Dhammakaya Temple. On that day, we will plant 1 million trees and for the environment, and also light 1 million candles to pay homage to the Lord Buddhas on 16 February 2022 at around 6 p.m. Thailand times. So I hope that everyone can join together in the Makabusha days at Wat Prathamagai, or if someone can join via Zoom, that we really appreciate. For today, I would like to thank you very much and rejoice in everyone. At this time, I would like to invite Venerable Doctors Ponchai Palawatamo Pinyapong, President of World Alliance of Buddhists, WAB, release us to sharing loving kindness and also to pay homage to the Tibetan together at this time.
Thank you very much. Today, I would like to thank you for Venerable Dahui, the chairman in the opening to give the opening speech. Venerable Dahui is from Taiwan. Taiwan, we can say that now is the big country for Mahayana Buddhists, and Buddhism is like the bird, Mahayana, and Theravada is like the two wings. Buddhism can propagate fast if we have two wings, Theravada and Mahayana. So today, Venerable Dahui, President of Chinese Young Buddhist Association, be the chairman give the opening speech. We are very happy and it's a great honor. Thank you very much. And then thank you for Venerable Pasula Antamano who sharing with us for the next normal for Buddhist propagation. Venerable Pasula, as I know, he travel a lot and give the teaching to the Western, especially non-Buddhist, for meditation. So he's sharing with us today is valuable. And as I know, he travel, I think now maybe more than 100 countries around the world. And of course, thank you, Venerable Kakan Malik or Asoko Piku, who give us the great inspiration for today. Thank you very much. Everyone listen from him already. And thank you for Venerable Nai Sokpana from Cambodia, sharing with us about the Makabucha Day in Cambodia. It's our great honor. Also, I would like to say that Cambodia is only maybe one country, few country that declare that Buddhism is the state religion in the constitution. And we are very happy to hear that Makabucha Day, the government prohibit to advertise alcoholic drinking. This is really good point. And also, Venerable Sopana, I would like to convey my congratulations for Venerable Sopana who get the fifth religion title, the fifth religion title of Cambodia is, we can say that Pade Pakun or Pade or Chokun in Thailand, we can say like that. Now we get the fifth of religion title in Cambodia already from Secretariat Office of Supreme Party of Cambodia, Somdet Akra Rajatipati Tepo Satu. And of course, Ekudom Professor Hugh Chenda, who sharing with us for the last person. He is the Vice President of Buddhist Cultural Center of Cambodia. Today, he Anumotana everyone and give everyone the blessing. Anumotana together. Sadhu, sadhu. So now, as I would like to thank all the participants. Bante, Venerable monks, Upasaka, Upasika participants, all the staffs, host, co-host, MC, our translators today, Mr. Subachai, very good translator in Thai language. Thank you very much. And everyone, we still have another day as Dr. Suchada informed us already. Tomorrow we will have the very knowledgeable speaker. Tomorrow we have Professor Dr. Uthit Siriwan. He is the famous Buddhist scholar in Thailand. We can say that if we think about Buddhist scholar in Thailand, what we think about, he is one of the most famous Buddhist scholar in Thailand. When have any Buddhist news, he give the society about the wisdom of thinking. So tomorrow we will meet him. Professor Dr. Uthit Siriwan, and also Long Pi Sanit Wong Wuti Wangso, also joining with us tomorrow. And Bhikkhuni, we have one Bhikkhuni, Mingyu Fasu from Taiwan. Although she is Bhikkhuni, but she works closely with Fo Kong Chan Temple, work closely with Suji Foundation, a big organization of Taiwan. Tomorrow she will come and sharing with us, and another one monk from India also, and also Dr. Laiketyo. Tomorrow we will have another one day, and we will celebrate Makabucha Day together, like Professor Dr. Suchada said. 1 million candlelight. It is the first year that 16 February Makabucha Day in the Makaya Temple. We have the candlelight pay homemade to the Triple Gem 1 million lantern. It is the first time 1 million lantern, and we plant the tree for environment, 1 million tree together. So Makabucha Day is big merit for everyone to join, 6 to 8 p.m. So as today is the Love Day, in the society we call Valentine Day. But if Valentine Day is Love Day, Makabucha Day is the pure love day. So because the Buddha give the principle of all the Buddhists don't do any evil, do only good deed and purify your mind. This is the pure love from the Lord Buddha. So I would like everyone to commemorate the pure love day by sharing the pure love or metta to people of the world to free from COVID-19 and all calamities together. So now I would like to humbly invite Bante and everyone to sharing loving kindness together. Please show the words of metta verse. Please host. Sape satta.
Sape satta.
All living beings.
All living beings.
Who are suffering in this life cycle of being born.
Suffering in this life cycle of being born.
Getting old and dying.
Getting old and dying.
Or alive.
Or alive.
Avera hontu. May everyone be happy.
May everyone be happy.
And free from revenge.
And free from revenge.
Apaya pacha hontu.
Apaya pacha hontu.
May everyone be happy.
May everyone be happy.
And free from violence.
And free from violence.
Anika hontu.
Anika hontu.
May everyone be happy.
May everyone be happy.
And free from suffering in body and mind.
And free from suffering in body and mind.
Sukhi atanang pariharantu.
Sukhi atanang pariharantu.
May everyone be happy.
May everyone be happy.
And free from all troubles and dangers.
And free from trouble and dangers.
May all beings.
May all beings
who are suffering. Be happy. May those who are happy.
May those who are happy.
Be happier.
Be happier.
Sape satta. Echala pucha. Sape andacha. Sape samsedacha. Sape opapatika. May all living beings.
May all living beings.
Who were born. From airs. From service. And from spontaneously arising.
Come
to receive the merit that we share on this occasion.
On this occasion.
Before we pay homage to the triple gem, I would like everyone to meditation, close your eyes, sharing loving kindness for 1 minute only, 1 minute. So everyone just close your eye, lapta, close your eye, relax your body, release your mind from any thinking. Makabucha Day is the pure love day. So we've been sharing the pure love to people of the world, sharing our metta, our compassion from our center of the body to people of the world. So everyone just relax and make a peaceful mind at the center of the body, gently, softly, and sharing the loving kindness to people around the world. May everyone free from dangers, free from suffering, free from COVID-19, free from any disease and all calamities. May everyone have the opportunity to practice the Buddha Dhamma, to practice the meditation, and can attain the light of peace, the Dhamma of the Lord Buddha, the Dhammakaya Buddha, very easy and very soon. We, everyone, please, we make our mind peaceful, stay still at the center of the body, and we will meditate together in silence about 1 minute before we pay homage to the Lord Buddha together. Gently, softly, make the peaceful mind at the center of the body. Please meditate in silence. Sape Buddha Palapata Pacekanan Jayang Palang Arahanta Nanjate Chena Rakang Pantami Sapaso Te Talaka Sukita Virunha Buddha Sasane Roka Sukita Hota Saha Sape Hiyati Pi Sapaputta Nupavena Sapatama Nupavena Sapasangha Nupavena Sakha Soti Wantu te Arahang Sama Sambuddho Bhagava.
Recording stopped.
Buddham Bhagavantang Abhivatemi. Buddho Menato. Buddha is our refuge. Tawakato Bhagavata Dhammo. Dhammang Namasami. Dhammo Menato. Supatipanno Bhagavato Savaka Sangho. Sanghang Namami. Sangho Menato. Sangha is our refuge. May everyone pay respect to the Lord Buddha together. First bow, second bow, and third bow. May everyone rejoice in the merit making for today together by saying Sadhu 3 times together. Again tomorrow.
Vandami Bante.
Sarvan Saranai.
May I invite everyone to pay respect to the presiding venerable and all Sangha in the room by bowing 3 times. First bow, second bow, third bow.
By the blessing of the Lord Buddha and Game Master, may everyone attain the Dhammakaya Buddha very easy and very soon.
Vandanavante.
Dhamma night all.
Dhamma night. Good night.
Good night.
On the full moon day of the 3rd lunar month known as Magha, a great assembly of Buddhist monks took place at Weruwana Temple. This day was also marked by 4 great events. 1. It was a Buddhist holy day known as Uposota Day, on the auspicious month of Magha when the moon was at its fullest. 2. 1,250 Buddhist monks assembled spontaneously, with no prior verbal arrangement. This meant that the Buddha never had anyone request their presence. But they arrived at the great assembly from different locations on their own accord as a result of their all-encompassing knowledge. 3. All the Buddhist monks had attained arahatship that liberated them from all defilements. They possessed higher knowledge that gave them supernormal power, celestial eye and ears, ability to recall their past lifetimes, and the ability to see into other people's thoughts. 4. All the Buddhist monks were known as Ehi Bhikkhu, meaning that their ordination was conferred and performed by the Buddha himself. During the Great Assembly, the Buddha delivered the principal teaching called Ovada Patimokkha, the ideal, principle, and method in propagating his teachings. Achieving the ideal was the highest goal of Buddhists and people of the world, and it is composed of 3 things. First, success comes to those who exercise patience and perseverance, for humans have to confront and endure suffering and misery starting from birth. Overcoming life's suffering requires patience, a great tool to eliminate defilements. Second, every Buddha prior taught the same thing. Nirvana is the greatest happiness. Practice patience and perseverance so that one can attain nirvana. Third, an ascetic who kills or harms others cannot be considered a true ascetic. While we have not attained nirvana, one must be completely virtuous and vigilant by not performing additional unwholesome deeds, because we are all still under the law of karma. If we accrued more misdeeds, regardless of what they may be, it would mean that we have not exercised patience, and without patience, we surely will not reach nirvana. The principle that the Buddha gave is an important guideline in the decision-making process for Buddhists and people of the world. If an action went against the principle, then we would avoid that action. Only when the action conforms to the principle would we carry it out. The principle comprises 3 components. 1. Do not perform any misdeeds regardless of its degree, because we are all still under the law of karma. Therefore, before carrying out any actions, we must ask ourselves whether the action is unwholesome. If it is, we will not do it. 2. Continue to perform wholesome deeds. Any good deeds that exist in the world, we have to perform those deeds to the fullest when we have the opportunity, because there will be certain wholesome deeds that we won't have the chance to do. 3. Purify our mind at all times. Persevere in meditation practice without missing a single day. Once our minds become increasingly purified, we will be able to attain nirvana. The method is the way to conduct oneself in a manner consistent with the good qualities of Buddhists and people of the world. It is composed of the following 6 factors. 1. All arahats and teaching monks who intend to propagate the teachings of the Buddha will perform his duties without resorting to slandering, attacking, or gossiping, and will avoid all false and harmful speech. 2. They will not harm, injure, or cause anyone distress. They will avoid all misdeeds committed physically. 3. They will firmly adhere to the 227 precepts of their monastic code of discipline and maintain proper decorum. 4. They must practice moderation by knowing the appropriate amount of alms to accept or consume to sustain their livelihood. 5. They must reside in peaceful and suitable places that are appropriate for endeavoring in their meditation practice. 6. All arahats and teaching monks must maintain purity of mind at all times by keeping their mind centered in every activity they carry out, whether it be standing, walking, sitting, or resting. Now that everyone has learned about the meaning and the important principles behind Magha Busha Day, we encourage you to invite all your loved ones to come participate in the lighting of Magha lanterns at the Grand Meditation Square of the Mahadhammagaya Sitiya as homage to the Buddha.